Welcome back to Founders in the Field, the show where we go behind the scenes with agency leaders, consultants, and creative founders to show you how they're building, scaling, and staying sane in the trenches. I'm your host, Stefan Bradley, and today's guest is Jason Hunt, who's the co-founder of Merged Media. How are you doing today, Jason?
I'm doing pretty good, Stefan. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, and I appreciate you coming on.
Definitely. Absolutely. Love geeking out on this stuff, specifically around AI. Super trendy and topical at the time.
Definitely. Let's dive in. So for people who don't know your story, take us right back to the start of your journey, what made you start your own business, and give us an overview of what your role looks like today as the co-founder of Merged Media.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to take it back probably about 20 or so years ago where I was living in Japan. I had a band in Japan, played some music. Realized through that experience I was a terrible singer and I was a way better marketer. So that was kind of my epiphany at the time was to, hey, I should give this marketing thing a try and hang up the microphone per se. And so when I came back to Canada, I was in my mid-20s at the time, got into the corporate world, worked for a massive company called Cargill, second biggest private company in the world, selling basically meat right out of the slaughterhouse into like bars, restaurants, grocery stores, all that stuff. I didn't really dig the grind, didn't dig that kind of sales grind, like not the way they did. I didn't love meat the way those sales guys did in the sales floor. But then I got into digital marketing, and that was kind of where I started kind of finding my pace, finding my thing. And I worked as the first employee for an agency in Toronto, watched that company grow to $1 million a month. And then I decided, hey, I can give this a crack, and I started doing it myself. So I started my own agency back in 2016. It was a social media agency. At the time, it was pretty cutting edge, going into businesses, saying, I'll do your social media for you, and people being like, hey, I'll give that a try and throw some money at it. Nowadays, I'm the 38th person that's called about social media in a given day, so the market has become quite saturated. But through that experience, I needed to become more versatile as an agency. So I merged my company with a leading SEO company to form Merged Media. So now we kind of own the technical and creative side of digital marketing with the SEO and paid social and paid Google now as well. So that was kind of the three-headed monster we kind of focused our attention on and grew pretty quickly and it's been great ever since. And now, this year has been such a significant change in the business. As you know, AI is really taken over a lot of mundane tasks for our business and for our clients as well.
It's an unusual start to business work, business life, singing. That's not one I've heard before, and then obviously got the light bulb moment. How much has your business sort of like gone up since you merged with somebody who's also an expert in another field of digital marketing, would you say?
Yeah, the best thing about that was, both of our businesses at the time were six-figure businesses in high six figures, and we were pretty much identical in terms of employees, overhead margins, all that stuff. And then after merging, we just kind of collaborated our teams together and grew into a comfortable seven-figure business. So it's, the best part about it is my business partner, the owner of the SEO company, Todd Foster, he's actually from Ipswich originally. The two of us really have offsetting personality traits. I'm more of the outspoken one, doing conversations like this, speaking on stages. And for him, he loves the operational side of it, loves being behind the scenes and doing a lot of the stuff that I don't like to do. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. You complement each other well then, so working up both sides of the business that are equally important, I would say. How did you end up meeting each other to make the merger?
Yeah, so Todd actually lives about 10 minutes from me, so here in Canada. And we actually, surprisingly, my best friend growing up from when we were 4 years old just so happens to be his neighbor. So funny how the world's we actually met at his birthday party. And so got talking, and it's like, oh, tell me about your company. Yeah, here's mine. Well, we're looking for some office space. And he's like, well, I have some office space. And I said, okay, well, I'll bring in my team. And after about a month or two of just working under the same roof as separate entities, we were cross-selling his clients. He was cross-selling our clients. It was just a no-brainer to merge our companies together. And by chance, he owned the domain merged.ca. Hey, Merged Media, it makes sense. So we went with that.
Definitely sounds like it was meant to be some like divine intervention there, how you two like were living so close, best friends with the same best friend, and obviously having companies that worked so well together in different sides of digital marketing. So yeah, no, definitely some sort of divine intervention or something there. So what does your role look like today?
Yeah, so today I'm fortunate enough to mostly work on the business instead of in the business. Doing things such as this, being a brand ambassador and building that personal brand, we become the agency that's known, liked, and trusted amongst our competitors. I think that's an angle that not just digital businesses, but all businesses need to be taking as we approach 2026, is figuring out a way to separate yourself from your competition. And the best way to do that is to be familiar with your prospects, right? And you need somebody that's working on the business, not in the business, to be that person, to devote time and energy to it.
Definitely, it's super important, especially in this day and age, like you just mentioned before with AI, but actually having people in front of cameras speaking about your business is actually so important, because it builds such authenticity, and people actually get to know you on a sort of a personal level. They will think more like a personal level as opposed to just some company, as you would say. So it's actually so important in this day and age.
Definitely, I think, but it really there's an effort involved there, because you have to be able to trust the employees you have and delegate to people. And that's one of the hardest things for entrepreneurs, is letting go and letting somebody just do the job as good as you, and that does take some effort to do that. And it's not easy to do.
Definitely not, and you need to not just have trust, but have built the frameworks for them to execute at the same level that you are executing on, because sometimes they might not have the same skin in the game as you would, because it's your company, so you need to make it sort of easier and viable for them to actually want to do that as well, I would say.
100%.
So Jason, what are the biggest trends that you're seeing inside the market as of today?
Yeah, so something that we're really focused on right now, and we're seeing fantastic results, is leveraging local search engine optimization for our clients. It's a big one. Google made some significant changes this year with the way we optimize our websites, and less is more. When we used to be creating blog posts on a regular basis, that no longer is a great signal for Google as it once was. Condensing the site, consolidating websites where they're made more simple now, but yet effective, and portray themselves as an authority in their local area, is what we're really honing in on for our clients. And we've never seen SEO results as quick as we do today. Like, we're literally seeing huge results in like 2 weeks of making these implementations that we're doing now.
It sounds like you could probably make the website in a faster rate as well if it's a lot more simpler, would you say?
100%. They can be made much more simple, and definitely keeps it more affordable. Like, most businesses do not need to be investing tens of thousands of dollars on a new website. It's just not necessary anymore, nor was it really, I think, in my opinion. But really simplifying that website down and really honing in and focusing on the Google business profile, and giving those signals to Google that you are the best in your area, in your industry, is what you really need to focus on, rather than spammy SEO tactics that once would work.
So do you leverage AI to build these websites as well?
Yeah, I mean, AI does a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to, not just writing content for websites, but creating the ICP, the ideal customer profile. The process we run our clients through is we have a 1 hour sit down interview with them, and we gather a transcript. That transcript is so important to the lifespan of that campaign, because that transcript of those questions that we ask our clients are letting us define who exactly we're talking to on that website, who exactly we're talking to in the paid advertising, right? Because if we can get that message to marry up with the person seeing it as closely as possible, we get a better result every time. So, that's going to help us retain people on websites for longer, help build credibility with our audience, making sure that we are speaking directly to the person the pain point that person has. And that's what we're able to do with the likes of AI, because I can sit here and talk to you about, facial cream for 55-year-old females, but I know nothing about that audience. AI knows everything about that audience.
Yeah, no, definitely. And when you can use AI in that respect, you can then make the ad, the website, the copy talk as if it's directly to them. So if you're a consumer, a 55-year-old woman wanting face cream, it feels like it's directly talking to you. Do you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of with ads as well, they just put up like 50% off this. They still think that the deal is what draws people in, but it's actually being able to target it to like an avatar, for example, of that ICP, and make it sound like you're speaking directly to them, I would say.
Well, just think now about, in the age of AI, there's just so much AI content out there. People are inundated with it, right? And if it's not already noise now, it's going to become noise in the near future here. And it's going to be an effort for people to decipher what's AI noise and what actually matters to me. And what is going to matter to people in my opinion, are creating that message that resonates to the person seeing it and building that personal brand, right? Being known, liked, and trusted. Because that's something that AI can not really replace, is that human-to-human connection. So if you can really lean in on that as a business, as a company, with your paid ad strategy, then you're going to come up on top.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it also will make you stand out, like you just said, in the noise, where it'll make you stand out if you see 10, ads, that's whatever they may be, that are not getting that known, liked, and something else you said,
trusted,
and trusted across to them, then you're gonna sort of fade into the noise. But if you can stand out to that in that aspect, even though you're still leveraging AI, the messaging, it could be AI, but tweaked to making sure that it's actually speaking to the ICP, you're gonna stand out so much more.
The AI winners, the people that are going to win with AI, are the pioneers when it comes to content and AI content, right? It's those ones that are kind of forward thinking and the first ones to maybe try out a new tool and show an audience that's going to be great content. But it's those people that try to copy, and it gets to the point where it's almost like stocks, It's, when you hear about that stock you need to invest in, but it's almost just too little too late. It's the same with the way we're churning out content now using AI. If everyone's already doing it, you're probably too far behind.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're hearing about it, it's too late. You need to be innovating and in the mix of when it's actually for you to be there when it's actually happening, or for you to actually discover it. So yeah, because otherwise they've seen it so many times before already, and it's almost like you're the late one to the party.
100%, right? And you're seeing that so much now, and I think that's what creates a lot of the noise too, right? It's like that initial injection of this new AI content or this new AI tool. People start using it, people think it's cool, and then it just gets overused.
Yeah, I think it was this year, early in the year, and it was making the images, and you just see LinkedIn was just covered with these avatars. They were just covered by these little slideshows of the little man or woman, do you know what I mean, explaining something, do you know what I mean? And I was just like,
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second, right? Like you just said, we all know as users how easy it is to put that together. So when something is so easy to create, it really takes away from the authenticity of it. You almost put on blinders when you see that content. AI content, cool stuff. Next. And we see this. We did some testing human copy against AI copy. It was picked up by the Journal of Brand Strategy, based out of London. We found that through our testing, human copy outperformed AI copy in terms of click-through rate and cost per lead 9 out of 12 times, 9 out of 12 tests. And a lot of that stemmed from the simple fact that people connect with human copy, those new human nuances that people put in the copy, the extra exclamation mark, the spelling error. Things like, putting sarcasm in brackets to show that you're showing sarcasm in a sentence. That kind of stuff AI typically wouldn't do unless you train it to do it, right? We found that type of content was actually getting people to stop from scrolling and click on the content and view that content, which is quite interesting.
I think when you say things like that, I feel like they need to make like an ungrammarly, to like ungrammarly your words, because when it's too polished, people are like, you need to have some sort of not so much a spelling mistake, but a caps mistake, something in there for them to realize like, oh, this is a human writing it. Otherwise, as soon as they read it, and it's too perfect.
It's funny,
it just almost goes over their head. I spoke to someone before, and it says if you email me and it sounds like you're an intern that swallowed a thesaurus and you had too much caffeine, then he said, I'll just ignore you. And obviously that's what AI can sound like, doesn't it?
100%. It's getting to the point where if you're using AI, you almost want to purposely put in a spelling mistake. It's crazy, right? But that's what it takes to humanize it. You know what I mean? Because you're right, it is this over polished, intern with a thesaurus next to their desk content that you're seeing out there on a regular basis. That really is, it's AI content, and if I want to read AI content, I'll read out my own AI outputs I haven't even got through yet.
Yeah, literally, definitely. So Jason, what's working well at Marriage Media, and where are you still feeling any slight friction?
Yeah, I definitely think the local SEO paired up with the meta advertising, meta retargeting is very good. Advertising on paid social has become much easier because the algorithms do a lot of the heavy lifting. So where we used to run, paid advertising on meta, we used to have to spend an hour trying to figure out all the interests that we want to target and this and that, and we no longer need to do that because the algorithm is figuring out who you need to target based off of what you write in the ad copy, right? So back to our ICP conversation, the ideal customer profile. Once we have that mapped out and carved out, we know exactly what to write to target those people, to hit those people. And we put that in our meta ads, which really helps the algorithm figure out exactly who we're trying to talk to. So now the copy on meta is not becoming copy to sell the user. It's becoming copy to help the algorithm figure out who to put your ad in front of. So it's kind of funny how that's changing now. But that's where we're definitely seeing some solid results. In terms of friction now, I think the biggest friction is getting everybody, whether it's clients, employees, to buy in to effectively using AI to better their job, to better their role, without relying 100% on it. And this is a challenge for people, because you get a little taste of AI, you get a little taste of the efficiency. So you get to a point where you use it too much, and it's almost like the AI dependency dilemma. I'll give you an example. We had an employee. She was great. She was using AI, totally embracing AI, using the likes of Otter AI to record conversations, put it into her Claude project, all that sort of stuff. But when it came to reporting, she would ask Claude, the project for the client, and say, give me a report for this week. Get the report and just copy and paste it verbatim to the client without taking in any of that content in that report. So when the client asks, can you dig a little more into that Google Ads campaign that we ran? Let me get back to you on that. It's like, that's what happens is when you take yourself totally out of the equation and let AI do the work, what are you good for?
We're using that example. When they ask questions, you haven't got the AI to answer it for you, so you need to answer it. So you need to know what you're giving them, because it's not there to talk for you. You need to actually have the broad understanding of it. So yeah, no, definitely, I can see why that would be a problem 100%.
I mean, it's a problem probably for us as well. I mean, even if I rely too heavily on it for coming up with creative ideas, and I don't use that creativity muscle that I typically would be so great with, I was so good at it. And if I stop using it, I'm going to lose it. And I've had that experience happen where I'm trying to come up with creative ideas, and I just hit it's almost like a roadblock. Just I can't even think anymore, because I would rely on AI so heavily in the past to do some of this thinking for me. So that's why it's good to use it almost like a thinking partner, as opposed to just doing all the thinking for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. It should be like an assistant, like someone who's going to help you, as opposed to someone doing it for you all the time. Mm-hmm. That's how I think it should be used, you know what I mean? So you don't automate reporting, you do it that sort of manually after that, or do you sort of semi-do it with it?
Yeah, so with reporting, we use a platform called DashThis that does a lot of our reporting for us. It integrates with all of our platforms, or Google, Meta, websites, and it shoots that information. It's live reporting for our clients, so they can go and check it at any given time.
To do it, definitely, to have a fully integrated system like that, where it can pull real-time metrics out and then give you a final set there.
I mean, keep in mind, Claude, the good thing about Claude, and why we have the enterprise plan, because we live and die by it. It's basically integrates with all of our Meta ad accounts. So we can just go in there and say, hey, can you pull up the best performing creative over the last 7 days? And it can easily go in there and pull it without us having to actually go on the Facebook ad manager.
Yeah, no, I like Claude as well. For if you even when you're writing copy as well, out of the, I don't use Grok, to be honest with you, but out of ChatGPT and Claude, I feel like it gets human nuances a lot better than ChatGPT does for emails.
Big time. I've went ahead and trained my Claude. I have my personal brand one, which is trained on my speech patterns. It's trained on my personality. It knows the stories of a lot of stories I talked about in this podcast. It has all of that intel in it. So when I have it go write me a LinkedIn post based on these thoughts that I have today, it's going to go back, basically like my thinking partner, and go back and pull out these examples of things in the past that are relatable to whatever topic I'm talking about today, which is pretty cool.
No, that's like using it as a second brain almost. So you can pull out things at any given point, and especially training it on your speech and things like that is literally like having a second brain.
100%. I mean, if you send me an email and it has an M dash in it, I'm probably not going to read that email.
Definitely, especially in this day and age now. I see people post on their LinkedIn with the M dash, and it's like, come on, you could have even if you took 2 seconds just to delete the M dash, it would probably have a better response rate than you leaving it in. Definitely.
I'm looking at my keyboard. I don't even know where the M dash is.
No, definitely. So Jason, if you won't mind, would you mind walking me through your client acquisition process? From how do you get leads to signing them on?
Yeah, sure, definitely. And this has been a work in progress for the last decade, it seems like, because we've done so many different things over the last 10 years in terms of client acquisition. Now, because we're obviously an SEO company and we do good work with SEO, we rank for SEO. So we get a lot of inbound leads. We don't do any outbound. We get inbound leads to SEO, through Meta advertising and Google Ads. So when a lead comes into our system, it hits go high level, And immediately we use N8N, and immediately it gets an automation where it'll be a text message saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. We'll be in touch shortly. It gets a voicemail that goes directly to voice. It's not AI voice, it's Dave. And Dave's saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. I'll get back to you with an SEO audit. And then in the background, N8N scanning their website. So if they signed up with, say, John at xyzlandscaping.com, AI is going to go look at xyzlandscaping.com and scan the site, scan the competitors, see how they're ranking on Google, and then provide a full SEO audit that's going to be in their inbox 20 minutes later. So when Dave goes to let's say the lead comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning, Dave goes to the office, has his coffee, he's got the SEO audit ready, calls the client, has a conversation. So all that heavy lifting has been done now thanks to AI, where historically it'd be a much longer process to complete an SEO audit, for example, and then trying to get in touch with the client or the lead.
Having that speed to lead also is such a big thing. People can message, people are in different time zones. Do you know what I mean? They can message you, it might be 5 o'clock in the morning in your time, but they might be somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? And that speed to lead, how important is that?
It's everything. Speed to lead is absolutely everything, right? Like nobody likes cold soup, right? And especially if you're getting leads from, say, Meta. If you're not getting back to that lead from Meta within 10 minutes, they forgot about you. They're back on the scrolling. They're back having their social media experience. You're forgotten. And that's why if you're running Meta ads, then and lead gen specifically, you have to have some sort of automation that's keeping your business top of mind when you are top of mind for them.
Any sort of lead gen that you're doing, speed to lead is so important. Do you know what I mean? Having this workflow, an AI, an agent, an AI SDR, whatever it may be, you need to have that there to bridge the gap, because that gap gets bigger and bigger, and it doesn't need to get that big before it's gone over their head and they're talking. So since you've add this workflow and all these automations in, how much easier has it been to close clients and to deliver for the client?
Big time. So I mean, one of the big things is because we do so much, we don't need to hire 3 or 4 salespeople right now. It's not necessary. With our process right now, it works really well. We have a person here in Canada that is calling those leads up to book an appointment for Dave, our sales guy, i.e. strategist, and his strategist is having that call with them, and now that strategist can focus on what they do best, which is putting together proposals and strategies, and our appointment setter can just do appointment setting, which I think is important too, is putting people in those silos so they're not trying to do too many different things, and let AI do its thing, right? And just making people's lives a lot more easier and focused.
Interesting. So you have a human actually booking a setter in the actual appointment in?
Yeah. So we have a web chat AI platform that we created ourselves called Chatello. It's only web chat. And that is great for FAQs and things like that. The AI voice we never got involved with. It's not something we really want to dive into just yet. We find that we do get a lot of success for not using the AI voice. You know what I mean? Like where other companies are kind of using the AI stuff, somebody just wants to talk to somebody that's Canadian in our case, right? Especially when we're targeting Canadian businesses. A lot of the questions that we're getting on that initial call is, where are you based? Are you human? Our sales guy, Dave, has got the question, are you human? Yes, I'm human. And I think that's a huge competitive advantage. There are certain things that you don't want to automate. Certain things you do want to automate, but there's also a lot of things you don't want to automate. Human connection is not something you want to automate.
Most people that I speak to, they would automate it, but not so much from a voice agent. So they would do it through, obviously, as the lead comes in through the automation, they would get them to book on. So you're saying you see a lot more benefits, or you see a lot more metrics going up for them using a human then?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's where I would put my chips on the human connection element of everything. So, even for our, let's say the example I gave earlier on about account managers. Account managers should allow AI to do a lot of the heavy lifting with the monotonous work that they're doing on a regular basis. Yes, writing the emails. Yes, looking over reports, analyzing reports, coming up with ideas. AI can do a lot of that heavy lifting, but you talking to a client and connecting with them, whether it's on a phone call, Zoom, dinner, lunch, that's the type of stuff you need to go all in on. Is that kind of stuff, because that's something that the AI won't replace. So if there's anybody out there in fear of their job, losing it because of AI, what aspects of your job can you lean into where you're building relationships with people? That's where you got to focus.
Yeah, also like using account managers again, it won't eradicate account managers. Like you say, we need the human connection, but it will allow them to handle more clients, more accounts. So it'll almost whittle out the ones that are just doing the baseline and the ones that want to excel. Because if your account manager before could handle just say 3 accounts, if you could utilize AI and workflows, then it might be able to handle.
And any business out there, any business owner would be music to their ears, right? 100%. If you could figure out a way to do your job more effectively, so I can give you more relationships to build all day long.
Even from businesses, some businesses are like, I don't want that, but it's actually like, this isn't going to replace your whole team, but it can make your team like X more efficient. Wouldn't you want that?
Yep, definitely.
So Jason, where do you want to be in the next 12 to 18 months in terms of business?
Wow, 12 to 18 months. In the next 12 to 18 months, it's so far out, right? Like it seems so far out because things are just been so unpredictable, right? And I think that's part of the agency world is you have to sort of be nimble and expect the unexpected, right? So to think 12 to 18 months, for us as a business, we're really focusing in on building deeper relationships with clients where they can lean on us, not just as a marketing agency, but as kind of an AI partner as well, right? Because any agency out there that's not evolving is going to be a dinosaur real soon. So making sure that we're staying up to date with ways that we can be more effective for our clients. Now, coming down the pipe, that could be the video piece, because you're seeing what Sora 2 is doing now. You're seeing these video platforms and how amazing they are, that we no longer need to hire a videographer crew for thousands of dollars, where we're getting to the point now where we can literally have AI create that content based off of a few of the images of a furniture store, for example. A bunch of images of a furniture store. We can get those into the AI and now create video content for them based off of those images, which is pretty cool.
In terms of growth, what are you looking to do in the next, say, 12 months? What are you looking to, how much are you looking to grow in the next 12 months, would you say?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I mean, of course, everybody wants to grow, but you almost want to grow in a way that's scalable. An easy way to grow would be, hire a team of 10 salespeople to go out there and do a lot of calling and connecting and build all these automations. That can happen, but then something's got to give, right? So making sure that you have a strong operation, reducing churn as much as possible is the very top priority before going out and opening up the floodgates to selling. So with that being said, obviously love to see growth in the next 12 to 18 months of, 40% growth would be awesome, but we need to be realistic and make sure that we have a business that can sustain that level of growth that fast.
Definitely, and you need to, exactly what you just said, is really making sure that the ship is shored up before you take on a lot of extra work. So Jason, my final question is, if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing in your business today, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's interesting. So it's very timely right now because we have a handful of people that are on vacation. So I find myself getting involved in the business more than I would like this week. But something to fix in the business, is that's a very good question. Because your brain goes so many different ways. And for me, for somebody that doesn't work as much in the internal ops of it, I think one of the big challenges for the business is being up to date with everything that's happening and how quickly it happens. Because, Go High Level is a great platform, right? We live on Go High Level. Automations are great. But it's not so easy to instill a lot of these automations right now. That's a big pain point, right? Because it is kind of complicated. I think getting things to a point where every single employee in a business can handle a lot of those, the creation of a lot of these AI automations would be great. And this is where I kind of see things going, is you're going to have these companies like your HubSpots of the world that are going to take in and take on every single one of these AI tools. Eventually it's just going to be, you're going to have a business. It's going to be an expectation to have all these tools embedded in it. And I think for us, having all those tools embedded in our business is something we're striving to do, and we're working on getting there.
It's crazy to think of how it's going to look, do you know what I mean, in the next even 12 to 18 months, how it will look. Because there's new tools being created all the time, there's new apps being created all the time, and AI, how good it is, it keeps getting better and better and better. So yeah, definitely.
I'll give you an example. Like we launched our own tool called Chitello.ai, the web AI chat that lives on our client websites, answers FAQs, helps convert browsers into leads. That's what it does. We created that in November last year, and we have full intentions of launching it, making tons of money from it. By the time we actually went to market with it, you had like Wix and the HubSpots already had their embedded chatbot forms for free. And so for us, we're like, oh, we waited too long. Oh, everything just ate it up. Now we invested. Probably invested about $50,000-$60,000 to have this built, and we didn't make a single cent on it, but we give it to our clients for free. Point is that there's so many ideas out there, and if you don't act quick on it, somebody else is going to eat it up real soon.
Even if you did act quick on it, the technology moves so fast. What's really good today, tomorrow, it might, not necessarily one day, but over a short period of time, things will become inept very, very quickly.
Definitely, 100%, because there's some company with a lot more money out there that can hire a much faster dev team.
I think that's one of the key takeaways from this podcast that we've done today, is for anybody listening, is having someone or yourself, depending on how your company is structured, to be at the forefront of these different tools or these different integrations, these different things, because second can be last. Do you know what I mean? It's the first ones, again, the early adopters that get in there, and having somebody either in your business or to really tell you, right, this is what's just came in, this is a new integration that's coming in, and this is going to make your business this much easier, as opposed to just waiting, because if you're waiting and then you're seeing people doing it, it's probably too late, as we said earlier. So Jason, where can my viewers and listeners contact you or your business or your company at Merged Media?
Yeah, my company, Merged Media, the website is merged.ca. If people want to check me out, because I talk a lot about personalizing and humanizing your AI, you can go and check out my website. I have some freebies there where you can get learn how to train your AI, and that's jayhunt.social. Check me out there.
Also, you have a podcast, don't you?
Yes, Drop the Mic. It's called Drop the Mic with Jason Hunt. It's on all the podcast platforms out there, where I interview entrepreneurs, digital marketers, and AI enthusiasts.
After you've checked this one out, go and check Jason's podcast out. I think it's, like you said, over 200 episodes, so he's well versed in. But thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I thought we've got some great insights there, and it's always good to, like you said at the start, to geek out and to actually go down different rabbit holes and see how different people from different sides of the world are seeing this AI revolution and in marketing and advertising.
Definitely. Thank you, Stefan. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.